Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Earth is Ghetto podcast. I am Sydney, and this is my amazing, amazing co-host, Aaron. Shake them tits, Aaron.
Favorite good queen, giving
Yeah,
you all the shade. We have a lot to unpack. We've been going for a little bit, but girl, that's part of our brand. But we back, and we always gonna come hard when we do come back.
you know the.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, girl, mental health check. You go first.
Oh God, why do I gotta go first? Okay, while I go ahead and give my Renaissance inspired handpiece. um, oh God. I don't want to. It listen. Um, Capitalism has come to stomp on my uterus on a regular basis. I have tried to figure out how we're going to afford, birth control since we're dealing with the no insurance thing, because that's what happens when you live in 2023 and you work a full-time job in a corporate office. No, I honestly I've been kind of in a space of just like, fuck it, the world is burning and no one seems to care. Um,
Twilight Zone.
at this point, look, we're all living within a dystopian novel. I'm actually getting really tired of living through all of these ridiculous life events that it just seems like since 9/11, it's been just nonstop. It was like since 9/11, it's just been like every 3 months. Oh, what else blew up? And now, of course, global warming is frying us this summer. We're all supposed to pretend it's normal. People just knocking out in the middle of the day in Florida and shit. By more than just racism, the heat wave. Um, but yeah, it's like, fuck it. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's the same for me. It's just very, very unbothered because like I'm no longer putting any energy into things I cannot control. Y'all know me. I cannot wait for the earth to blow up. That's just me though. I'm a pessimist kind of, but it is what it is. Um, and yeah,
You're a
I
realist.
don't care anymore. Like if it's out of my control, then it is what it is. Like I just got into an argument with a family member talking about how you gonna pay for this and how you gonna pay for that. I don't care because if I ain't got the fucking money, like most Americans don't, then I just ain't got the fucking money. So that's my mental health.
This is where we are. Anyway, let's jump into the drama of the state of the world, because that's why Earth is ghetto. So the first one you actually put into the doc, so I'm gonna let you take this one.
Lift every chair and sing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the white people have a seat.
And if you don't, we might hit you with it.
um, what a time to be black right now. And it's funny because I'm seeing a few white people come out and saying how, violence is not the answer and black people should not have responded in that way. No, ma'am. Y'all are inherently violent. That is in your nature. Y'all should be the last ones to say any of that shit. We retaliate just like y'all. We put out what y'all give to us. But when we do that, y'all shook because y'all used to having your way. No, ma'am, not anymore. I saw another video of a white man getting his ass beat with a chair. Did you see that? Another one?
No, I did not, but you're going to have to send it to me, because after the Alabama sweet tea brawl, after our second Juneteenth on August 5th, 2023, as far as I am concerned, I will be singing Negro spirituals and gospel songs for nostalgia, just to make me feel good inside. You feel me? And I just want to say, I love Black people. As much as I have to hold us to task on a regular basis, okay? I just want to say our creativity is just unmatched. I mean, Michael Phelps, yo, it was amazing. And I absolutely loved it. But I'm sure everybody knows what we're talking about. The Alabama brawl that happened on August 5th, where five white guys, or I think it was like almost, I think it was 7 or 8, but they basically jumped a black worker just for telling them to move their boat. And then he threw his hat in the air like a black signal, not a bat signal, like a black signal. And we all swarmed. And when I say I was proud of each and every one of us, and the unsung hero, free my nigga with the chair, okay, was a nigga with the chair. Okay. Yo, when he beat that one, make.
Let me tell you, girl, let me tell you something. It was the black Aquaman for me. Did you see that nigga that was swimming across the
okay,
Did-
Michael B. Phelps
broke all the stereotypes that day. Okay.
Listen, yo, the way this man was punching the water, like I don't even know if that was that was the most aggressive. I was so proud. I was so proud, and I can tell you that I think I watched that video.
I watched it 3 times.
I feel like I was edging on around 70 or 80, and I was like, Sydney, you gotta stop. But it was making me happy. It was making me so happy.
Not edging.
Well,
Ooh,
but listen, it's hard out.
we love it. Now I will say, and ooh, I hate to be this person to ruin a good thing. My good sis Hope Giselle said this.
Ooh.
If he was a visibly black and gay man, if this would still feel like a win or worthy of black support and media attention. Just a thought. Like we said about George Floyd, because we can come together, but if he was visibly feminine and gay, would the same energy be there? And I don't think it would.
I want to think that because even if he was effeminate, that maybe because he was dressed in a uniform, that hopefully we would have still come together in that way. But I think that's only because he wouldn't have been as visibly effeminate. This is still coming off of just weeks ago where O'Shea was killed for voguing in a parking lot by a man who pretended to be Islamic when in reality he's a Christian.
Oh wow, I did not know that. I thought he was not surprising because we know Christians.
It isn't surprising because listen, and the only reason that when they first said that he was Muslim, and I was like, is because it's not because it can't happen, but if you notice, for people who practice Islam in the States, they're not exactly an aggressive people. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, say what you want about terrorists that American governments continue to create by just bombing places they have nothing to do with. That's fine. You take that, hold that for a second. But I'm just saying, like, from what I know, I don't see people who practice Islam trying to convert people to Islam. I'm not saying historically, I'm talking about current right now. And I also don't see like this outward of violence towards the gay community. I know they tell their kids not to be gay. I know they say it's against it completely, but the outward violence of it was something that I didn't disbelieve, but I was also like, I feel like there may be more to the story. So when I found out that he was a Christian, I was just like, okay, that makes sense, you know?
Because all of these shootings at the gay clubs, they were Christian and they went to these gay clubs and gay pride events and stuff.
And those people literally were coming from churches emboldened by their religion to go ahead and cause violence. And I'm not saying historically Islam has not been used to go ahead and create violence. We've all read books, calm down. I'm just saying currently right now in the States, that's all. And because of that, I feel like if he had been outwardly effeminate, like if this had been like a Saucy Santana situation,
Yeah,
if he was dressed all strappy with long ass heels, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the reaction would be, but I feel like I would be disappointed.
they would probably say, "Oh, well, he's probably doing too much." You know how they love to say they're doing too much, or
Or
something
just
happened.
look away like it's not their business.
Hmm. That's why we talk about intersectionality a lot, because yes, this is a win for Black people,
100%.
but and for certain Black people when we have these things happen. Yeah, girl. And then oh well, y'all, that's a different thing. No, it's not different. Because Black queer people are not going anywhere.
It really isn't. And we have to pose these questions because in real life, when we are walking around, um, especially people who, Black people who are quote unquote queer coded or whatever it is they want to go ahead and call us, really just like being yourself. But when it's something outward that you can see, despite the fact that they are Black, that's the first thing that you see as a Black person is their queerness, even though that other person is Black.
Hmm.
Um, it's oh gosh, it's so disappointing to think about in the sense of after all of the triumphantness of just being able to watch that. But I feel like that's something that we have to talk about because that's the reality for a lot of Black queer people walking around right now.
Yeah. Like once again, like another example of intersectionality I experienced because I posted a video talking about Black people versus people of color. And I had a lot of straight Black men comment say, "Hey, yeah, that's good. I agree." And then one of them sent me a DM saying, "Oh, I didn't know you was gay. I can't get down with that. I have to unfollow you now." So it's like as soon as they say I'm gay, it's like my Blackness doesn't count.
And suddenly the whatever perspectives that you have or whatever like internal epiphanies that you've had about your own Blackness are suddenly completely dismissed because you like dick. Do you see how that sounds super stupid? That sounds really, really stupid. Which is why we can't take all of you with us. You are, I'm sorry, you're some of the people that Harriet Tubman would have shot. And
Mm-hmm.
that's just the truth. Because you don't believe in actually being pro-Black. That's a lie to you, to the point that where when people say that they are pro-Black, I feel like I got them like, okay, which Black people get to come to your movement?
Right.
Out of curiosity, because they tend to have a lot of filtering that they do. And it's so disgusting to me because you've been poisoned by white supremacy. You don't even know it. How do we move forward? You don't even read books, apparently. So how are we supposed to do shit?
Yeah. I just stay away. They're dangerous. I keep having to remind Black queer people and Black women they're dangerous. Stay away from them because they
And some
just.
of these Black cisgendered women are just as dangerous
Mm-hmm.
because they want, because this is the thing. The reason why a lot of Black cisgendered women you saw getting all transphobic, so on and so forth, it comes from a fucked up place. It just doesn't negate the fucked upness of what they're doing. You see what I'm saying? Because we've had to fight for our femininity as Black women, we feel like, remember, we can't fight white society. We can't fight white supremacy and tell them that we are also the standard of beauty. But this Black trans woman right here doesn't get to say that they're me.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, none of us meet those requirements, baby girl. Who are you
But
fighting?
as Black people, biology would never be on our side. They wouldn't. Like I keep having, like this whole, oh, I'm a biolog. Unfortunately, the way anti-Blackness and misogyny war works, biology will not be on our side. They do not see us as human. And Black women are constantly masculinized, and cis Black women are oftentimes misgendered as well.
It listen, I be talking to people, I'll be voice noting back and forth. I'll never forget when I voice noted this because we were just typing, but I get lazy and I don't feel like typing no more. So I just sent him a message and he was like, "Oh, whoa, are you trans?" And I was like, I mean, no, but why do you ask? And he was like, "Well, I didn't expect your voice to be so deep." We were like, "Well, get the fuck." So down to our most base nature, just not hilarious. We will never reach whatever standard of femininity that they would like from us.
Because the standard of femininity is whiteness. And if you type in beautiful women on Google Images, you will see nothing but white women. And if you do see black women, they are racially ambiguous or super, super light skinned with green eyes.
Yep.
Ice Spice.
Listen. And I just think that it's really sad that we're still in this of space, especially it really hurt my heart as a black cisgendered woman to see so many black cisgendered women lose the plot so severely. Couldn't even identify what a woman is if they like everything they said had everything to do with biology. So I'm just like, so you're gonna shit on cisgendered women who can have babies, don't want to have babies, or don't have all of the things that you think that are feminine. Okay, cool. All right.
Yep, it's really sad. But anyways, child, moving on to Miss Not Need Neo.
Oh gosh. What Conehead have to say now?
So Neo thought that his opinion was so important to where he wanted to talk about trans kids and how once upon a time a man was a man, a woman was a woman. And I'm just going to play the video.
Oh God.
And of course, when he got called out, by the way, he made an apology because people was dragging the shit out of him as they should because you got way more stuff to worry about than the existence of trans people.
All right.
Do that regardless.
I can't hear it.
There was a father and a fellow black man in the name
of him.
Teachable moment. Some of you might be asking yourself, but what did he actually say that's caused this backlash? Let's get into it. Neo was on a podcast where he was asked the question, and here's how he responded. I feel like parents have almost forgotten what is the role of a parent is. Your little boy comes out to you and says, "Daddy, I want to be a girl." And you just let him rock with that. He's 5. You let a 5-year-old decide to eat candy all day, he gonna do that. When did it become a good idea? When did it become a good idea to let a 5-year-old, let a 6-year-old, let a 12-year-old make life-changing decisions for themselves? Neo continued by saying how this personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman. And there was 2 genders. That's just how it rocked. You can identify as a goldfish if you feel like it. I don't care. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game with you. I'm not going to call you a goldfish. But if you want to be a goldfish, you got to be a goldfish. We're living in a weird time. I'm going to start by saying this. 1 in 4 black trans youth have attempted to unalive themselves in the past year based off the climate and the rhetoric that we give for how exposable, disposable, and non-human like we view people that are trans. This next part is very important right here. No 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, or 12-year-olds is taking gender hormones or receiving surgeries. Research over me search. The World Professional Association for Transgender Health says that hormones could be started at the age of 14, 2 years earlier than the group's previous advice, and some surgeries done at the age of 15 or 17, a year or earlier so than previous guidance. Which means the idea of 5-year-olds, to 6-year-olds, or even 12-year-olds being able to make life-altering decisions is empirically false. You see what I'm saying? It's used as a false narrative to really create paranoia and hysteria around individuals that identify as trans. Now, I know I might have said some things you probably disagree with, but I showed you the research and the studies that backs it, right? The next thing is, I'm sure we all agree on preserving black life, especially black kids' lives. Listen, according to a study by the Trevor Project, a quarter of black transgender and non-binary youth reported to unalive themselves attempts the previous year. That's more than twice the rate of unalived attempts reported by Black LGBTQ people who are not transgender or not binary, which means the way that we talk about transgender people, the way the climate is positioning for transgender people leads to studies like this. Or should I say the findings in studies like this? Now, Neo is from an era where men were men and women were women. But Neo was born in 1979. And the Stonewall riots happened in 1969, 10 years before he was born. And the Stonewall riots was kicked off because this Black transgender woman, 10 years before he was born, started to fight back against police brutality, and it literally jumped off the entire Pride movement. Peep game, Marsha P. Johnson was born in 1945, which means even back in your era and before you were born, Neo, this was already going on. Individuals identifying with genders that were not assigned at birth. This part right here important. I know you weren't trying to offend nobody, you see what I'm saying? I know a lot of individuals talk about the LGBTQIA plus community and be like, I ain't trying to offend nobody, I ain't trying to offend nobody. But then you will compare their identity to a goldfish or to eating candy. Very trivial and pathological, right? See how people in that community feel some type of way. You know, education is elevation. A lot of us don't recognize that we are lost in the sauce in the way that colonialism was, polluted our ways of understanding gender. The deviant African genders that colonialism demonized or condemned. European travelers and anthropologists found that their gendered worldview didn't easily map onto the societies they encountered. With that being said, when you look up trans identities in ancient Africa, because ain't nothing new under the sun, traditionally, the Ugandan peoples were largely accepting of trans and gay people. The Longo peoples accepted trans women, male assigned people called Joapu, I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong because I'm country, or Joe Aboch, who were believed to have been transformed in the conception into women by the androgynous deity Jock. I just want to sprinkle some historical context because a lot of times we view the trans identity or trans community as uniquely being like a modern day invention. It's just like, nah, that's not true. I think a lot of times we view children as being kind of ignorant to how gender operates, but we know that study shows that taken together, that these studies suggest that most children develop their ability to label gender groups and use gender labels in their speeds between 18 and 24 months. As opposed, the self-socialization theories recognize that this came from how we get kids to play with strongly stereotyped toys around gender. Let me get a little philosophical with you. In college, I learned this word called epistemology. It's a fancy word for knowledge production, and how I understand it is like, how do you know what you know and where do you get what you know? For instance, if you believe Christopher Columbus sold the ocean blue in 1492, that's a particular epistemological understanding. If you believe that boys wear blue and girls wear pink, that is a particular epistemological understanding. Epistemology is defined as the theory of knowledge, especially in regard with methods, validity, and scope. Epistemology is the investigation of what distinguishes, justifies beliefs from opinion. What is your epistemological understandings of gender? Where did you learn gender? How did you come to understand gender? Where did your notions of gender come from? These are all epistemological questions that surround gender. Say this respectfully, but a lot of us have an epistemology of ignorance when it comes to our understandings of gender. I know some folks gonna be mad about this, but gender affirming care can be the matter of life and death. With that being said, in 2023, from the East Coast to the West Coast, we see many states pass legislation against gender affirming care and against trans youth being able to really do anything. And we know when it comes to people that look like us, I don't care what your identity is. When it comes to people that look like us, we know that we're going to get the bottom of the barrel of the impact. You see what I'm saying? And we know that Black people, we exist everywhere in all communities. In conclusion, I got 2 kids as well, a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. They come to me and say, hey, Pops, the way I was assigned gender at birth is not the way I feel. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to start dealing with it. But peep game, though. You see, legally, I cannot give my 5 and my 7-year-old any type of hormones. You see what I'm saying? They can't conduct any type of surgeries. There is intentional misinformation surrounding this topic about transness and trans identities. If some of us ain't free, then none of us ain't free, and this applies to Black trans people, especially Black trans youth. Education is elevation. I'm working. It's time for me to go eat. I'll holler at y'all.
We love Conscious Lee, always coming out with the facts. Everything that was spot on. Took the words right out my mouth.
I was just very glad that he gave the historical context and the fact that, you know, Black trans people, Black queer people have been around since the beginning of time. This is not anything new. And yo, Neo, real quick, I want you to bring your shiny self over here real quick. I want to talk to you because you were saying a lot of things about, well, your child is not about to come to you and tell you what gender he is. You know, you're gonna have control over that in your home. I have questions though, when you cannot control your dick. Didn't you go ahead and sleep with several different sex workers while you were married to your wife who you had cheated on with Moneta? I remember I saw who you convinced to go ahead and get her tubes tied. And then because you said no one was having any more children, just for your new wife, the one who's your ex-wife right now, to pop up pregnant. You're a terrible person. You're a harmful person. You can't control. I don't understand how you got so much space to say things. Sir, I need you to continue to take your 2006 peaked self and go back to bed with the rest of the C-listers. The only thing we want you to do is to release some of your old music, because whatever the fuck you're coming up with right now, nobody wants to listen to.
I didn't know he was still making music. I thought he was done making. I said, girl, is he still making the Kids Bop music, or what's going on?
Listen, I'm not sure. Listen, there was definitely, you know, some you know,
music.
Right. But my love, for you to be so loud when you got like things to worry about. Don't you have somebody else pregnant right now?
That's the thing. A lot of their priorities be all over the fucking, do not be where they're supposed to be, girl. I'm like, girl, you got way more shit to worry about. Like, it's.
Well, you know, if your child chooses another identity, aren't you going to be bouncing between how many different households? Anyway, so moving on. I don't know why he speaks, but he speaks sometimes. Anyway.
Okay, moving on to our next P-body ass nigga, Tory Lanez. He has been sentenced for 10 years in state prison for shooting Meg Thee Stallion. The singer was initially facing a 13-year sentence. I'm seeing a lot of straight Black men and even some straight Black women defending Tory Lanez. And to that, I would say this. Bitch, a gun charge alone is 10 years now. And he shot someone while he was on probation. He could have gotten more than that. So just leave it alone, because y'all are going to forget about his little ass anyway and go back to what y'all was doing in the next few months. Y'all don't care like that. Y'all only bring him up because you don't like Black women. You only bring up Tory when we're talking about Meg Thee Stallion. That's it. So this fake ass outrage, oh my God, y'all don't care. You're going to move on next month to whatever the fuck it was you're doing.
Tory, I saw you posting pictures of you and your son like that was supposed to get you out of jail. You little pocket thug. Somebody finally put you back in your Crayola box. And I am so happy for it. I'm sorry. I'm celebrating. I think I had a drink the day I found out. And for anybody that's upset about that, oh, there's another Black man in jail, tell that Black man to stop shooting bitches. That's all. It's pretty simple.
Because it seems like y'all love to defend. It don't matter what the fuck a straight Black man does, as long as he ain't gay. But if anything else, there's got to be a reason for it, huh? Sad. I ain't gonna say too much about it, because that shit really made. And then of course, you know, the shade room was, oh my God, what y'all think about it? And then you had the fucking dirty ass niggas with dried up spit in the corners of their mouth, thinking that they know something. Girl, I'm not finna argue with any of you dusty niggas that still white from back to front. Get out my face with this bullshit.
Oh, not back to front. God, that sounds like an infection. No, but then some of y'all be infected. So let me not give you that much. I feel like it's really disgusting to see Iggy Azalea. Bitch, what do you do? Because you know what? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm healed. I'm healed now. I'm not gonna do it.
Mario said something, sent him a letter.
Yeah, he wrote a letter on Mario also wrote a letter on his behalf. Listen, I also want to tell Mario, I'm glad that you're looking more moisturized and you were the best singer on that versus. But I also want to say you being the best singer on that versus is not like that great of a compliment. Because I don't know if you heard the other niggas at the verses. Did you hear Ray J? I heard it had a fancy car. Like, oh yeah, it was bad. You know what I'm saying? No, yeah, you know what I'm saying? They did it. We did a lot. So Mario's gonna have to go ahead and calm down. We was trying to make you relevant. I was so here for you at the verses, and now I'm just like, oh, I don't give a fuck about this dusty ass nigga anymore.
The little nigga also released a statement, his last statement on IG. He said, I have never let a hard time intimidate me. I will never let no jail time eliminate me, regardless of how they try to spin my words. I have always maintained my innocence, and I always will. This week, right, hilarious. This week in court, I took responsibility for all verbal and intimate moments that I shared with the parties involved. That's it. In no way, shape, or form was I apologizing for the charges I'm being wrongfully convicted of. I remain on the stance that I refuse to apologize for something that I did not do. Literally have recordings of you saying that you regret what the fuck you did. We have recordings. We have the pictures of the bullet fragments. We have the doctor's orders. We have the video of the blood stains in the fucking street with Meg walking. We have all these things.
But more than that, even if we had not even half of those things, you discharged a weapon and you weren't supposed to have a gun. That comes with the, and I feel like y'all don't realize this is the state of California against Tory Lanez.
Right.
Not Meg Thee Stallion did not press charges, did not file charges. In fact, she didn't even speak about this until you were taunting her with it. You could have sat there and ate your food, but instead you talked your leprechaun ass into jail.
And why do you niggas always only bring up God when you get caught doing some stupid shit?
Or when you get an award.
Like y'all, after you done fucking shot up a Cars Jr. or beat somebody's ass for stepping on your shoes, then you get in trouble for it. Now you want to bring up God. Oh, God got me and no weapon will prosper. This or that weapon that you had got you in jail.
No, your weapon prospered, sir. You just weren't ready to go ahead and accrue your investment because you invested in that jail time because you didn't have to do that.
Like, stupid.
Ooh, child. Anyway, moving right along. Oh goodness. This was so sad. We mentioned it a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I wanted to go back into it. As you all know, O'Shea Sibley, Black queer man, was killed for voguing at a gas station. The reason I want to bring it up again is because I'm seeing some Black people in the comments saying, "Well, what was he doing dancing at a gas station? Why was he dancing feminine at a gas station at night?" Like, just justifying him being killed. And this is why we said earlier about the nigga that got jumped by those white men, if he was visibly gay, because like y'all just prove our point. Like y'all don't care about all Black lives like that. Because these comments that I'm looking at are disgusting. Like it's just, what was he doing? Or he shouldn't be doing that stuff because people and then they'll quickly say, not trying to justify it, but why was you voguing? But you justified it by saying that.
Where did the butt come from? You know what? It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna be purposely obtuse. At this point, I find it
Also, to the team that killed him, I wish y'all would stop saying 17, because if this was a Black 17, y'all won't even be saying 17 years old. Y'all just say this is a Black man that killed someone. But you're only saying the 17-year-old killed someone because he was not Black. I see through that shit too. He would be an adult.
It's the same trick that they use when they say underage woman. It's a girl.
If the killer was black, they would show his face, and they would do all the things.
Yes, because they would want to make sure they had that plastered everywhere because, white Christians aren't having a good look.
Oh, see, this is the black on black crime we're talking about.
They would love that. They love to plaster that shit everywhere. O'Shea Sibley, senseless murder, senseless hate. And the fact that people that look like me are really trying to rationalize it away. You are no better than those white people who, when they see black people die, always ask what the nigga did first. You are no different. You're no different, and you're disgusting.
And I'm seeing some Christian, well, most black folks are Christian. I'm seeing black Christians on here agreeing with the killer. And here I am, an atheist. Like, girl, what the fuck are you got? Is it opposite? Like, I'm just, whatever. I'm tired. Y'all don't give a fuck about all black folks. We say that pretty much every show. This is why we will never get free. Y'all may think we will because, praise white Jesus in the sky. That nigga he ain't doing shit, and you're not gonna get nowhere because you want to divide and conquer. Get the fuck out my face. Y'all are not serious people.
Y'all just want power. Y'all don't want actual equity and equality. And you you make sure that we know it every day.
But yeah, just want to touch base on that. And more straight hypocrisy is the next topic. That's your topic.
Oh, yes. I saw this piece with T.S. Madison and talking to Jason something. I don't like that man like that, but
he's very messy.
Yeah, I'm not his greatest fan, but I really did enjoy this conversation, and I thought it was interesting. I think you'll find it interesting.
Did you see the video clip of our favorite capitalist Beyonce was at some brunch with the rich people, and Jason Lee was there? He tried to approach her, and then she said and walked away. He said, "Girl, I know about you, girl. You be messy as fuck, be spreading rumors that ain't true and saying lies and shit." Even Beyonce ran away from that motherfucker.
Well, but I expect Beyonce to run away from like all interviews because she's not giving y'all niggas shit.
Yeah, she ain't giving
but to dodge at an event, that's serious because she don't like to ever be seen. But okay, so yeah, nigga, you just messy. Sorry, but yes, please.
She said, "Bitch, I like to stay hidden while y'all buy my $800 clothes." And bitch, look, this is an example of walking and chewing gum, y'all. Because yes, y'all know I love Beyonce, but she is a capitalist and it's still very much eat the rich. I'm just saying we can save her for dessert.
I'm just saying. We'll get to her, but like last. Go ahead.
5 years old. I've been trans since I was 17, 18. I've been trans since I knew what it was to be that. Mm-hmm. But I started my transition 17, 18 years old, 45. So that's what, 20, 30? Yeah, that's almost 30 years. Yeah. For that long amount of time, I have had people say, I could tell what a man is and what a woman is. I know what y'all is. I know. Y'all could never fool me. Right? Have you heard that too? Of course. So, when trans women are murdered...
I've also heard of men who indulge in the girls and say I was tricked when those...
Now, here we go. This is where I'm getting ready to go with this.
Okay.
So I hear y'all say, I know what it is. Y'all can't fool. I can tell by the hands, the feet, the neck, the torso, the toenails, the eyeballs, the eyelids, the makeup. I can tell. I know what y'all is. So when a trans woman is murdered by a man and his excuse is, I don't know, why are you backing him up by saying, y'all need to stop fooling these men? But you in the other breath said that I know what y'all is because of y'all hands, y'all feet. I challenge you out there that's watching. This is a game I want to play with you. I challenge you to challenge yourselves in some of the conversation and the rhetoric that you spew out. If we're so clockable and you know what we are by our hands, our feet, our voice, our necks, our torsos, our back, our earlobes, our hair, our eyeballs, our eyelashes, when a man is up there using the excuse that he didn't know, because 99.999% of the time, those men that have killed us are fucking us.
Well, they were looking for you.
And looking for us.
Yeah.
And seeking us. So explain to me, just for a moment, how he didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
How can you use that as an excuse when all my life I've been told I could never be fooled? Men have told me I could never be fooled.
I had a friend tell me that he wasn't getting. We got into an argument because I told him he was attractive.
Mm-hmm.
He identified as a straight man, and he was really offended that I was attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
And as he got more comfortable in the relationship with me, shared with me that he had been with trans women and that he doesn't identify as gay or bi, but been with trans women and enjoys giving head and getting fucked. And what I thought about in that moment was, one, in our community, there's still a stigma with accepting and acknowledging the way you feel.
You know, I was blown. Did you see how I was blown?
I know how you feel back. I'm not done yet. I went on to say biological women need to start providing space for their men to have the conversations with them that they aren't allowing them the safety to have.
And I 150,000% agree with you with that, Jason.
Because your community is not the bad guy, because your man is going out to look for something that he, in his mind, body, soul, spirit, and penis, wants to have, but you won't allow him a safe space to talk to you.
And here's the thing. Women have the opportunity to go out there in the world and be lesbians, have a whole relationship with women.
Eat coochie all day long.
Coochie ate up all day long, be in a 9-year relationship, and then get out and go be with a man and have a kid. And she's what? Straight. And they want to award a man that same opportunity. And it's unfair. And this is the reason why nobody's gonna like this comment. You ready, Jason?
I'm ready.
Nobody's gonna like this comment, but I'm gonna say it. We all play a part in the down low man. All of us. Let's do it. I'm gonna tell you how. You want me to break it down for you?
Yeah, start with my community. What do we do?
The gay community?
Yeah, we live for the trade and we protect their secrets.
All right. We this is how we do it. One, the women won't allow space for them to open and have that conversation. Two, the guys won't tell the truth because the women won't allow them to have the space in those spaces.
And the community changes.
And the community changes. I met Kevin Gates at BET thing. I need to say this is important. I met Kevin Gates at the house of BET. There was a podcast that came out where a trans woman was on there saying that Kevin Gates was fucking her, and he
allegedly.
This what she said.
Yeah.
She didn't say no alleged. She said it.
For this show, because we don't want to get sued.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But you can find the podcast where she said that shit. She said that. I wore her out because she said that he was fucking, and she said, yeah, he was fucking me, and she was white, by the way. He was fucking me, and he's like, wait, it's not getting wet. God, he's like, is that a real pussy? It's like, nah, I'm trans. You did all of that. This is what makes me angry. And they say I don't hold my community accountable. Oh no, I tore her up.
In her face or this?
Oh no, I tore her up.
Okay.
You did all of that on that motherfucking podcast. In this climate that we're in, where we already public enemy number one, because bitch, they feel like women are feeling like that we are invading their space and taking something from them.
Taking their men from them.
Not just their men, but the spaces.
Yeah.
Bitch, you do this, and you further go into the stigma of that we don't tell nobody that what we are, and bitch, we tricking men, and you go on the podcast and talk about this to a huge celebrity like Kevin Gates. I wore her out because, bitch, this is not that. Don't do shit like that. And you said that he didn't. You told him in the middle of y'all having sex that you were trans. The fuck? I was angry with this shit, Jason. Listen, I get hot about this type of shit. Because the blogs picked this up and they put this shit out because it's sensational. And you have just used your you being a trans person as a weapon against this man. Now I ask the question, bitch, are you a woman or are you when what time do you be trans? Because bitch, why are you being sensationalizing you being trans now? When it had something to do with this man and which I don't believe. I wore her out. You know Kevin Gates. I was at House-B. Them girls came and they got me and they took me back there. And you know Kevin Gates don't let nobody touch him.
Yeah.
Kevin Gates hugged me.
Because he saw the clip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hugged me and said, "You got good energy," and I like it. And you know there was some trans people that were cutting me. I said, "Bitch, why are you always defending the down?" I said, "Bitch, I'm not defending the down low man. I don't know that man's sexual. I've never touched that man. I don't know, right. And I'm not defending him. What I'm trying to do is protect our stupid ass.
Right.
But you over there doing this dumb shit. I'm 45 years old. I've been.
I love Tia. I love.
T.S. Madison dropped a lot of gems, and it's one of the things that I feel like is something that us as a community has to do. We have to hold each other accountable at all times. It doesn't matter who of it is doing it. We got to be able to say something. That's bullshit. Going ahead and taking a blind eye just because we're in the same community. How do we make the community better if that's the way we're moving?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like on this podcast, everyone gets held accountable. Because if we don't, then the people who are oppressing us will take a needle in a haystack situation and run with it and be like, "See, this is what I'm talking about," and will justify us being killed.
Yes, absolutely. Which is exactly what T.S. Madison was talking about in that clip, saying that they were going to take that move to the blogs and run with it. Like that's something that every trans person's experience, because you know that's what they do.
Yeah.
But yes, love T.S. Madison down. I'm so glad she was able to go over that full array of topics because I felt like it was really, really important that we also talk about the hypocrisy of constantly saying, hey, we always know when you're trans, but then when they kill you, then they go ahead and say, oh, they tricked me.
Yeah, it's hilarious because I be hearing that too. I hear a lot of straight men say, "Oh no, I can tell. I can always tell." Or I look for Adam's apple, as if cis women don't have Adam's apples, as can't have an Adam's apple. I know cis men who don't have an Adam's apple. Like, but anyways, let's say I can always tell if they're trans, or I look at their hands or their feet, and then when they get with the trans woman, the first thing, and after killing them, they'll say, "Oh well, I didn't know. I was tricked." So which one is it? Do you know or do you not know?
Just
only not know when it fits your narrative.
That part. So I thought that was a really great a clip to play. Thank you, T.S. Madison, for being you, girl. I don't agree with everything you say, but when you be saying gems, I gotta shout you out because you are a legend. She is an icon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. The Blind Side. So first, have you ever seen the movie The Blind Side?
Yes.
I have not. Now, I'm going to tell you why I didn't see The Blind Side. It was at the time where I had already seen Tears of the Sun and Black Diamond. And I was like, if I see another white hero trying to take the nigger up from the bootstraps and help him get where we gotta go, if I see another one of them, I'm gonna scream. So I avoided The Blind Side like the plague, right?
It definitely gives white savior complex.
And I'm like, we're gonna help him, this impoverished child. No, oh my God. You've got
to help the niggers in Africa, give them some food and take pictures and say that we did something for our church. And yeah.
Didn't have a bed before. Okay. So I don't, this is where we are. But please play this this clip. I think it's a piece of Conscious Lee and another creator who I love.
Our movie is based on a lie? The Blind Side about these
Go back and watch Conscious Lee's video for the full context of what is going to be discussed right here. Basically, Michael O'Hare is suing because the family in The Blind Side, the entire idea behind The Blind Side is a lie, and he was actually tricked into being put into a conservatorship and them having ownership over his entire career, money, and business management for the rest of his life. Those things are extremely difficult to get out of. But this is what I want to say. This is what disabled people have been warning about. That if you all are about free Britney and free Britney this and free Britney that, you all have to reorient your thinking to be for radical autonomy for disabled people. Because the system of ableism can be weaponized against literally anyone. Anyone. This is what we've been warning about. There's a reason why this was so easy to do to him. There is a reason why they want trans people to get screened for autism before they receive gender-affirming care. There's a reason why Black and brown children who graduate high school are tricked into fake diplomas. Ableism is one of the greatest toolkits that could be weaponized against anyone. And if your advocacy regarding anything else skips disability, all you're creating is a loophole later on. Conservatorships and guardianships should not even be a thing. There are other less restrictive tools to help disabled people make decisions. And you can find them by contacting your state's protection advocacy agency or your area's Center for Independent Living. This is why I've said what I've said. When I said that when you talk about Britney, the issue is not that she's not disabled. The issue is that nobody with a disability should be treated like that regardless.
I thought it was a really interesting point because after I found out that, like she said, that it was all a lie, they tricked him into a conservatorship. They stole all this man's money from his career, like he's a retired football player. And they made him sound slow and stupid and unintelligent in this movie. And that is not, if you look at this man and talk and listen to hear him speak, you're just like, I feel like it's really important that we see the patterns of how people can be victimized and abused and who is actually profiting off of that victimization and abuse. And this is one of the reasons why I am always going to say it makes me uncomfortable to see white parents adopt Black children. Because I always wonder if you're willing to do the work, because it's not like we haven't seen situation after situation of transracial adoptees now telling us their horror stories of growing up with these white parents. And now we see another case of a man being abused.
Yep. It's like they treat him like a pet, pretty much, like just property, pet, slave even.
They assert profiting off of his body.
It's giving slave auction.
I mean, football is always giving me slave auction anyway, but that's another story.
That is so true because, girl, the way these white folks be, because you know the majority of football players are Black, and the way these white people be auctioning these players, and I take that boy over there. No, that boy, no.
Whenever I see these draft picks,
and if
they measure their body, measuring their muscle mass, and they're like, lift your balls and stick out your tongue. Like, I'm sorry, and then we have a draft pick.
If they slip up in the game, the way they talk to these Black players, like they're a fucking slave, like, boy, how dare you?
It's a lot of Black players, but it's almost only white owners. We call them owners. Anyway, moving on. So to our last topic, and before we start, I don't know if we are heard in Hawaii, but even though Aaron is an atheist and I'm a witch, I am sending out my absolute, like, my heart breaks for what's going on in Hawaii, for the Native people in Hawaii, how they're being pushed out of their homes, how this fire, oh my God, I hear that they're actually lying about the death toll, that it could be in the thousands of people that have died. And we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about why or how people got into the situation in the first place. Because Hawaiians have continued to say, stop vacationing here. Don't come here. Just don't. And instead, we have white people making videos talking about, so we have somebody who's entitled enough to tell you not to visit a part of your own country. Hawaii was a kingdom that you colonized.
You're talking to a group of people who are so used to having power and so used to having their way and so used to controlling the world. Telling white people not to go to Hawaii, girl, they will look at you like, how dare you, bitch? Like, like, yeah, and of course, everything they touch fucks up.
Oh my God, it just kills me. And then people say, oh, well, they survive off of tourism. Your colonized mindset really believes that the only way Hawaii would survive is because we pay to see their waterfalls?
The nerve, the caucasity of it all.
It was a whole indigenous. Okay, you know what? Y'all are just.
Up, and y'all asses need to stop going to Jamaica too, to be honest.
I mean, shit. I don't know what the Jamaican government actually has to say about it or what Jamaican people have to say about it. Because I sadly am so disconnected from the country. So I would love to see what, no, for real, I really am. So I would love to see what actual Jamaicans are like really feel about what's going on in there for real.
They don't really care for real, but I wish they would see, like, I know the ins and outs of it, but we're very welcome. Oh yeah, come, give us your money.
Yeah, no, because listen, we owe it left. You know what? I hate talking about people. I love you. Okay, I'm gonna put that out there. But yes, Jamaican people are very, very welcoming. No, I don't hear any Jamaican people being like, "Oh, don't come to the country," because I feel like in their mind that's gonna like minus out some dollars they could possibly get one day. So, but for Hawaiians specifically, they have been saying and screaming it from the rooftops, and people just aren't listening. And I feel like it's really disgusting to see them. I saw a Black guy actually make a video talking about, oh, well, you need our dollars to help you right now in your. Do you ever heard of Dole? Like Dole pineapples? They started in the 1800s. That was like part of the whole colonization process in Hawaii. So we've stolen so much from that country, basically consider it a fucking debt that we're paying back, bitch. How about that? Oh God, I'm sorry. That when I say that crawled up my spine and I feel like it was like attaching itself to my right eye, I was looking very Forrest Whitaker when I was watching these videos. Like scrolling up and down because I was just like, whoa, we have lost the fucking plot. And just to see Black people jumping on this train, it's just like, what white daddy you try to please right now? Because capitalism has never been for us. Do you know what destroyed our homes as well? Like in Africa, that's been raped by capitalism, and what America and what Britain has done to us, what France has done to so many African countries. I'm pretty sure if we ask them, I'm pretty sure they want them to fucking leave too.
That's because some Black Americans have this fake ass American dream stuck in their heads. Like, I can be a billionaire one day, just like white people can. And we just gotta work hard. And yeah.
What in really Bruno Mars? It's a song, nigga. That's not real life. That's not real life. Y'all gotta like. Anyways. Oh my goodness, we got through all of our topics. Yes, child. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Look at eyes, right? So I gotta do a little bit of editing, but we'll be fine. It's okay.
Is it gonna be a lot of editing, or is it just
it's okay. Worst comes to worst. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I'm not worried about it. But I just do want to go ahead and shout out all of our listeners all of our supporters, whether you're on Aaron's TikTok or whether you're on my TikTok or you're at the Earth is Ghetto Instagram or you're just listening to us on Spotify. I just want to thank you so much. We passed our year anniversary a while ago and going into our second year, and I'm just so excited to see what's going to happen next for us while capitalism keeps on trying to choke the life out of us, but won't hold me down.
We're still here.
Here.
But yeah, I just want to give my amazing co-host a shout out. Thank you for just being with me for these past year and a half. You're amazing. You pretty much carry the fucking show. So great.
Shut up.
I love you. And yeah, you can listen to all of our shit on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple, anywhere you can listen to a podcast. Stream it. We got about 100 episodes now. And you can follow me on TikTok. That's _AARON205. Again, _AARON205. And you can follow our podcast Instagram page, which is earth_is_ghetto_. And you can follow Sydney on TikTok, Not Your Magical Negro. That's KNEE_grow, GRO. And yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, that was the end of the show. So again, thanks everybody for listening. And thank you, Aaron, for just being you and always being amazing and always being so supportive when I'm having breakdowns and you're just like, bitch, we got this. And you always make me feel so good.
The feeling mutual. You just got me together when I was going through some shit.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. But to everyone else, please just remember that being queer is African, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye. Get you a chair.
Get two. Bye.